Hey everybody, it's Joe. I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Saab Doctor. In today's episode, we're going to be going over how a Raccoon totaled my wife's 2005 9.3 Aero, and we're going to be disassembling it and finding everything wrong. Stay tuned. Okay, so that quick clip should give you an idea of the extent of the visible damage. Now obviously it's leaking antifreeze, the AC is not as strong as it was, and I have a feeling that the intercooler might be cracked. So what happened was my wife, let me just kind of start this over. We live out in the country, so obviously take country roads. My wife was driving along like normal, and a raccoon jumped out of like a field, and she was doing about 60. So there was no stopping. She did hit the brakes, but as you can see, it was a pretty low hit, and some damage was done. So just to kind of put it to rest, we did not turn this into insurance because I started adding up the costs, noticed it was going to be totaled. It took us 5 years to find this car. I'm not letting it get a branded title over this. So we're just going to take it, we're going to fix it, we're going to make it right, and we're going to go through the process now. So let's tear it down. Okay, to start tearing it down, it's going to be easiest to just jack the front of the car up. That way, when I need to get underneath it to inspect things, it'll be super easy to look underneath. So let's get it jacked up. And just so you know, I normally don't jack these cars up this way. With how low this car is because of the coilovers, this is my only choice with this one. Alright, now after I jack the car up, I always give it the push test to make sure it doesn't fall off the stands. And we're good to go. So to remove the front bumper, I always pop the hood first, start undoing those, then start the wheel wells. We aren't going to have a whole lot underneath on this one because the under tray's done and the wheel well on that side's pretty messed up. So let's get her done. Now underneath the hood on these earlier cars, these are all just these push clips. There's just 4 of them. Sorry, 6 of them, can't count. And sometimes you can push them with your finger. I'm going to have to grab the screwdriver for these. Now with the number of fasteners you're going to have, make sure you have either a tin or some kind of like cup or something to put all these fasteners in. With this, I'm going to order a whole lot of new fasteners, so I may or may not need them, but it's always good to hang on to them. Alright, to get a better view, I could have removed the wheel, but I didn't. So, these are 8 mils. There will be one up here in the corner, one down here, one here. The reason I'm starting on the driver's side is because back here there's both a wiring harness and everything for the windshield washer sprayers. So I want to start here first so I can disconnect all that stuff so I don't pull on it anymore. I also need to look at the wiring harness behind here to see if it's damaged. So once that's undone, ooh. This has a full washer bottle, so that'll be fun. I'm going to need to empty that. However, here's what I wanted to disconnect. Was this harness. I hope you can see that. This harness right here is for the fog lights. It's for the temp sensor, which is loose in here. Everything. Interesting. I didn't know that was zip tied in there. So that's that harness. I'm going to grab a small screwdriver. Actually, I've got one right here. There we go. That's all disconnected. And then this, I did not undo the one bolt right here, so I'll undo that one. This will drop down and come loose with the rest of this, so that's good. So let's undo that quick. All right. Now that's loose. Now this is loose. I can actually take this, flip this over and whatnot. So this is for the washer right here. You push this in to disconnect it. Let me go grab a gallon jug so all that can drain into it. Okay, so this is going to be hard to see on camera. Let me get you at a different angle. And I got some brand new work lights. So let's see if that actually lights it up enough. Yep, all right. Perfect. So we'll get in here with a gallon jug, hit this button right here, kind of wiggle this apart. Of which this, there it goes. Oh, okay. All right. Luckily, those new lights are waterproof. So while that's draining, what we're going to do is we're going to go on the other side, get that all disconnected, completely pull the front bumper off, kind of see, whoa, we've got problems. Okay, there we go again. Nope, hang on. So we'll get that all figured out, get this bumper off, and then we'll look at the damage we got here. All right, so over here on the other side, we've just got a couple screws in here, and then we'll be able to pull this apart. Let me just note, I would normally not pull a good bumper off this way. This bumper will be getting replaced. All right. All right, let's just pull this away. And now let's start inspecting some damage underneath there, because I can already see some damage. All right, without even getting very far, that is a big dent in the condenser. Also, this power steering holder, this cooler holder, is slightly tweaked, and you can tell just from the angle and the fact that this moved. It might be hard to see, but right there you can tell that that moved. Obviously, it's been in one spot for a very long time. This is plastic from the grill. Broken, that needs replaced. Let me get something to get underneath. So hang on just a second. Alright, ooh, that might be hard to see. Hang on, I've got this new light I'm trying out. Okay, so it's really easy to tell the condenser is bent and it's real. Oh, hang on a second. Look at that radiator. Oh, that's toast. I didn't notice that. I knew it was leaking, but yeah, that radiator's definitely done. You can tell right there. Okay. The only thing that I'm having problems telling whether it's good or bad is the intercooler right now, because it's hard to tell if it's actually straight or not. Let's see. Hose looks fine. Ooh, this piece is broken. This is the upright portion of the like the hold down. Yeah, that's pretty broken. So that'll get, or sorry, the having a moment, the under screen or whatever you call it. So that's broken. That'll get replaced. This will get replaced. Definitely going to replace this condenser. Might just do the intercooler. Might just do that for the funds of it, because you know we can get something aftermarket. And this is definitely bent. So that looks like kind of the extent of the damage, though, because you get back here. Obviously, the convertible cross brace all looks fine. That's kind of the nice thing about the convertibles.
Let me zoom this out. It's kind of the nice thing about the convertibles is they have this pretty sturdy cross brace on them. So that's all fine. That's not bent at all past factory. So that's good. At least it doesn't look like it is. It's always had a little bit of a weird tweak to it, I feel like. But yeah, that is all definitely damaged. So I'm gonna have to do some adding here, figure out what the grand total is gonna be. But yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna just throw that intercooler on the list. It just makes sense. Replace the whole pack. Might be an extra, a little extra, but not a big deal.
Alright, so I had bought a Harbor Freight work stand, but it didn't come with half the hardware. So we're going to go and we're going to dismantle this. So let's pop out the middle grill, which I'll do very carefully by popping all these outer ones out. Fortunately, this Map-Tune one isn't the hardest to get out. The OE ones tend to stick a little bit more. Not good, but all right, not damaged. Perfect. And we'll get the two side ones, which are normally a little bit easier. You just need to kind of work around these to get them. Make sure you get all the little clips. So let me bring you around the other side. Okay, so at this point, I'm not 100% sure if we're going to keep the washers or not, but to remove, I'm just going to remove these washers, which is super simple. Just hit the button. This needs a little twist and pull because these have probably been together the entire life of the car. And sometimes one-handed don't work very well. Let me put this on the tripod. All right. So what tends to happen is these little rubber gaskets underneath here get stuck. These get stuck on here, so not a big deal. One thing you'll notice is no bulbs in here because we have the Euro rub strips in. I'm gonna have to pull these rub strips off, which is super simple. You can actually do these from the outside of the car without even doing this. Alright. So we'll leave those for a moment. I just want to double check everything underneath here. Make sure this is all good. So looking at it, got a bit of fur there from our friend. Right there. Don't want to touch that too much. So the good thing is, looks like our wiring harness is all intact. I'll probably just replace this sensor just for good housekeeping. And yeah, no. Wiring harness is all together, which is good because this is like $150-ish wiring harness, so that's a really good thing. So cool. All right, then I'm going to cut these zip ties, pull this all apart. I wish I had something to set this on. And at this point, I'm just going to time lapse this portion because this will be kind of boring. All right, well here's their first casualty that I didn't know about. I thought that this lens was perfectly fine. However, the where the bulb housing is and whatnot has broken off. So I'm going to need to decide if I'm going to replace this completely as a fixture, or if I'm going to just repair this one. The only thing is, I think I'd have to replace these two in a pair, just for the simple fact of this one will have more, you know, one of them will have more damage on the front of it than the other one if I only do one. And these are definitely originals. You can tell from the date because this car's a 2005. So I'm going to have to make a decision on that one before we order things. And all right, let's keep breaking her down. Alright, and the bumper is, ooh, better not step on that rub strip. The bumper is all broken down. Let's go through everything that's good, everything that's going to be needing to be replaced, and I'm not going to have a total dollar amount in this video, but we'll at least have a really good idea what we're going to need. Okay, so we're going to start off with the good pile. This bumper foam is good yet, so that's one thing we don't have to buy. Wiring harness, good. The rub strips are both good, which is good. These are Euro rub strips, so they have no side marker. The hose for the washers, if we decide to keep them, is good. And the washers and risers, and I know for a while these risers were hard to get, are good. Of course, if we redo the bumper, we're going to have these risers repainted. If we go with the one with headlamp washers, don't know what we're going to do yet. These are fine. These hold the headlamp washers in place. Grill is good. Luckily, we just bought this a couple years ago, so it would have sucked pretty bad if we had to order another one. I remember at the time there was kind of a shortage on these, and we got one of the last few that they had. Don't know about availability nowadays. I'm going to guess availability is fine. And what we have here is, this one's bad. So I have to decide, I'm going to repair this. I need to look at this a little bit closer. That fog light is still good. However, I'm going to get new fog lights. I'm going to get them in pairs. So then I'd buy 2 new fog lights, so that way they'd look the same. You know, just in case one has a bunch of stone chips or whatever. I mean, this is a 15-year-old car, so these things wear out pretty bad. On the replace list, the bumper. A lot of people will say, oh, this bumper is fixable. This is repairable. Well, you know, looking at the damage, I'm sure somebody could plastic weld it. It would be perfectly fine. It would be a great bumper if somebody wanted to, like, cut it about here, put some Griffin bottom on it or something. We're not doing that. This car is my wife's pride and joy. Not going to do, like, some, I mean, pardon my French, but not going to do some half-ass stuff here. So this is going to get replaced. Lip is going to get replaced, which I'm sure somebody's going to be like, that lip could be repaired. Well, that's fine. Maybe it could, but not on this car. One new under tray, one new middle grill there. Going to do the whole pack, so we're going to do a condenser, an intercooler, and a radiator. Going to replace this because this looks bent. And I can just tell it's bent. I'm going to replace these uprights that hold that tray in on both sides. Actually might have to buy wheel liners now that I'm looking at it. This one looks broken, so I'm going to have to look at that closer. Probably end up ordering at least a passenger side wheel liner. I think the driver's side was okay. Oh yeah, driver's side is fine. Yep, that wheel liner is definitely broken. So
put a passenger side wheel liner on the list. And otherwise, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So I already built a cart with most of the stuff I need. However, it's missing a few things and it has a few extra things. So hopefully those two even out. I know it won't because I don't have an intercooler in there. However, that was about $2,000. So would it have totaled the car? Probably if a shop were doing all of the work, because you have to remember they have to, you know, vacuum down the AC system, replace the, you know, replace all the parts, add, you know, add all the stuff, all those labor hours, everything. It's not going to be cheap. So I'm going to guess that it'll cost me with paint, now me doing all the work, ordering all the parts, probably about $3 grand-ish. I'd bet that an estimate from a body shop on this thing would be like $5 grand. I could see that real easily, but we didn't go that route. And one thing I'm going to add, and I'm sure people have been like, why didn't you mention this? Nobody was injured during this. The airbags didn't go off. Nothing that bad happened, other than my wife's pride a little bit, because this car is her pride and joy. She loves this car a lot. And that's why we're going to fix it. We're going to make it 100% right, and it's going to be factory. I'm going to use all Saab OE parts. Going to get them from Saab parts like I always do. So, you know, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe, and Saab on, folks.